thanking God for His angels watching after us and for His faithfulness.
Joel Osteen's journey began far from the glare of global fame, rooted instead in a Houston household shaped by faith, resilience, and ambition. Born on March 5, 1963, Joel grew up as one of 6 children in a family deeply immersed in ministry. His father, John Osteen, had broken away from traditional Baptist doctrine years earlier to form what would eventually become Lakewood Church, a congregation centered on healing, hope, and positive confession. Joel watched closely as his parents navigated hardship, illness, and growth, learning early that faith was not just preached but lived. Though surrounded by ministry, Joel never envisioned himself as a pastor. Instead, he gravitated toward the technical side of church life, quietly developing skills that would later redefine how modern churches communicate with the world. Building a ministry behind the camera. After graduating from high school in 1981, Joel briefly attended Oral Roberts University to study television and radio communications before returning home to Houston. At just 19, he launched Lakewood's television ministry, handling everything from filming to editing to broadcast strategy. For nearly 2 decades, Joel remained behind the scenes, carefully shaping how his father's sermons reached viewers beyond the sanctuary walls. Long before live streams and social media became common, Joel understood the power of visual storytelling. His work helped transform Lakewood from a growing local church into a recognizable national presence, all while he remained largely unknown to the congregation itself. An unexpected call to the pulpit, Joel's life changed dramatically in January 1999. After years of declining his father's invitations to preach, he finally agreed to deliver a sermon. Nervous and inexperienced, Joel spoke from the heart, sharing stories and offering encouragement rather than theology-heavy teaching. 6 days later, says fate intervened. John Osteen passed away suddenly from a heart attack, leaving the church stunned and leaderless. Despite having no formal theological training and only 1 sermon behind him, Joel stepped into the role of senior pastor. What followed was not a planned succession, but a gradual acceptance as the congregation responded to his warmth, optimism, and accessible style. Explosive growth and a new vision. Under Joel's leadership, Lakewood Church experienced unprecedented growth. Weekly attendance surged from around 6,000 to tens of thousands within just a few years. His sermons, focused on hope, self-worth, and perseverance, resonated with people seeking encouragement rather than condemnation. Joel doubled down on television outreach, securing better airtime and expanding into new markets. The church soon outgrew its original sanctuary, prompting a bold move, relocating to Houston's former sports arena. The transformation of that massive space into a worship center symbolized Lakewood's evolution from neighborhood church to global ministry. Faith, positivity, and a branded message. Joel's message stood apart from traditional preaching. He rarely emphasized sin, judgment, or doctrine, choosing instead to focus on positivity, gratitude, and personal growth. This approach attracted millions who felt alienated by more rigid religious environments. His 2004 book, Your Best Life Now, became a cultural phenomenon, remaining on bestseller lists for years and cementing Joel's role as both pastor and motivational figure. To supporters, his message was refreshing and empowering. To critics, it blurred the line between faith and self-help. Regardless of opinion, the impact was undeniable. Wealth, visibility, and growing scrutiny. As Joel's influence expanded, so did public scrutiny. Though he stopped taking a salary from Lakewood Church in the mid-2000s, his personal wealth grew through book sales, speaking engagements, and media appearances. Joel and his wife Victoria became symbols of modern megachurch culture, highly visible, polished, and successful. While many admired their achievements, others questioned whether such prosperity aligned with the church's mission. Financial disclosures showing that a relatively small percentage of Lakewood's budget went to traditional charitable outreach fueled ongoing debate about priorities and stewardship. Hurricane Harvey and a defining moment in 2017, Hurricane Harvey devastated Houston, displacing thousands and testing local institutions. Lakewood Church initially remained closed, citing accessibility concerns, while images circulated online showing surrounding areas appearing dry. Public frustration escalated quickly, and Lakewood eventually opened its doors to shelter evacuees. Though the church did provide aid, the delay left a lasting mark on its public image. For many, the episode symbolized a disconnect between message and action, and it became a reference point critics continued to revisit in later years. Controversies that shaped public perception over time, Lakewood faced additional challenges, including legal disputes, financial controversies, and questions about internal policies. A federal relief loan taken during the COVID-19 pandemic sparked backlash, even though the funds were later repaid. Lawsuits and settlement claims, though limited in scale, raised concerns about accountability within such a massive organization. Each incident added to a growing narrative that Lakewood was no longer just a church, but a complex institution navigating the same ethical pressures as any large corporation: safety, responsibility, and hard questions. In early 2024, a violent incident at Lakewood Church shocked the nation and reignited conversations about safety in places of worship. While the event was contained quickly, it exposed vulnerabilities inherent in large, open congregations. In the aftermath, Joel addressed the church with messages centered on resilience and faith. For some, his response offered comfort. For others, it felt incomplete. The incident underscored the difficult balance between openness and security and highlighted broader societal issues beyond the church's control. Family, legacy, and the next generation. Behind the pulpit and public debates lies a deeply personal story. Joel's partnership with his wife, Victoria, began long before fame, rooted in shared faith and mutual support. Victoria grew into a prominent leader herself, founding women's ministries and authoring best-selling books. Their children have also stepped into creative and leadership roles within the church, particularly through worship and youth outreach. Together, the family represents continuity, carrying forward a ministry that began decades earlier in a converted feed store. The passing of a matriarch. In July 2025, Joel announced the passing of his mother, Joel Osteen, a co-founder of Lakewood Church and a central figure in its early identity. Revered by congregants as Mama Dodie, she embodied the faith-healing message that shaped the church's foundation. Her death marked the end of an era and prompted reflection on how much Lakewood and its message had evolved since its humble beginnings. A ministry at a crossroads today, Joel Osteen stands at a complex intersection of influence, criticism, faith, and expectation. His message continues to reach millions across the globe, offering hope to those who feel weary or overlooked. Yet questions linger about theology, wealth, responsibility, and authenticity. Supporters see a man who has lifted countless spirits. Critics see a ministry that has drifted too far from its roots. Both perspectives coexist, shaping a legacy still being written. The unfinished story. Joel Osteen's story is not one of simple rise or inevitable fall. It is a portrait of a modern faith in an age of media, branding, and global reach. His journey reflects both the power and the peril of influence, reminding us that leadership invites not only admiration, but accountability. Whether Lakewood's future brings renewal, reform, or continued controversy, one truth remains. Joel Osteen has changed the landscape of American religion, and his story, complex, human, and unresolved, continues to spark conversation long after the cameras stop rolling.